It's just gone 6:30 and you're watching East Midlands Today. Tonight, honouring a national treasure. His love of nature began here as a boy, and now the region is celebrating Sir David Attenborough's 100th birthday.
Happy birthday, Sir David Attenborough. With the milestone marked today in Leicester with a cake almost as grand as the man himself.
And this is where his love of the natural world and the environment first began, here at Bradgate Park.
Bradgate is a very, very important part of my childhood. And I'm sure, therefore, the part of childhood of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who grew up in Leicester.
As Sir David Attenborough turns 100, we celebrate his love of the natural world, inspired by his childhood here in Leicester. What do we say to him? Happy birthday!
Hello and welcome to Friday's East Midlands Today with me, Sarah Hawley. Thanks for joining us on this special programme marking Sir David Attenborough's 100th birthday. Here in the East Midlands, we're lucky enough to have even more reasons to celebrate as he spent his childhood in Leicester. And Sir David's love of the natural world was sparked by the discoveries he found on his doorstep in Bradgate Park and the Leicestershire countryside. Tonight, we'll be looking back at his memories and looking ahead to how he's inspiring generations to look after the world we live in. First, though, to the University of Leicester, which has been holding a day of special celebrations, including a cake, which we saw them creating on yesterday's programme. Our environment correspondent, Hugh Caswell, has been there today.
The student days of a national treasure. This picture of a 19-year-old David Attenborough was taken in 1945 when he was studying at University College Leicester. His family roots run deep here. He was 5 when his father was appointed second principal, and he spent his early years living on the campus.
This pretty unassuming office was his childhood bedroom, and he's spoken fondly before of exploring these grounds with his brothers Richard and John. The view from up here has changed a fair bit, I'm sure, as the university has evolved. But how fitting that now, right underneath what was his bedroom window, there's a garden planted in his honour. And in amongst it, a nod to one of his most memorable moments on screen.
The finishing touch, this Juneberry tree, planted today to mark his 100th birthday.
We're very proud of David's connection to University of Leicester. He's an inspiring figure. He's created passion in the younger generation for nature, for the wildlife, but also environmental action. So he's still inspiring younger generation. There are many people who have gone to have successful careers because of that inspiration.
And of course, no celebration is complete without a cake. But such an extraordinary man requires an extraordinary cake.
To celebrate David's 100th, we have got a 4-tiered showstopper. 3 tiers of cake, chocolate globe on the top, jelly ocean at the front, and biscuits to celebrate all the different documentaries that David's done over his 70 years of broadcasting all around the side. And it's sort of to showcase all the different ecosystems that David has covered across his broadcasting career. So we've got African plains, we've got the savannah, we've got desert, we've got the Arctic, rainforest.
Dare I ask how long this has taken?
Oh, it takes too long.
Too long.
I think I started from Sunday and you probably started from Saturday.
I started doing Saturday. The first thing I made was David out of the modelling chocolate, just to make sure, because I felt that's the most important bit, to have David there and looking okay.
Sir David Attenborough has inspired people all around the world. For all the adventures he's been on, for every story he's told, Leicester has played a huge part in his own life story. Today, we all say, happy birthday, Sir David.
And I'm joined now by Richard Thomas, Professor of Archaeology here at the University of Leicester. Richard, we spoke to you yesterday, of course, ahead of the celebrations. How do you feel today's gone? Do you think you've done him proud?
Oh, it's been such a joyful day. We've had a really large gathering of staff and students from across the university come together. We've had our tree planting, a portrait has been unveiled, we've had talks celebrating Sir David's contributions to broadcasting and his connections to Leicester and Leicestershire.
And of course, you've actually worked with Sir David
David, on a documentary about Jumbo the elephant. How did that come about, and what was it like working with him?
Oh, it was an honour of a lifetime to be able to work with David. Absolute childhood hero and an inspiration to me and what became my research career. But I got contacted out of the blue by a broadcasting company saying they wanted to do a documentary about the life of this famous elephant superstar, and would I be interested in leading a scientific team? Would I like to go to New York? And would I like to work with Sir David Attenborough for a week? And
that can't have been a hard decision.
No, I don't think I drew breath at all before answering.
And he's such an inspirational figure, of course. Do you get the impression that he's still inspiring current students here at the university?
Absolutely. We see that in the kinds of modules and the kinds of subjects that our students want to study. We have our Institute of Environmental Futures, which is really about delivering research that changes the world and changes the way in which we think about and addresses some of the problems that we create.
And importantly, did you get a slice of that cake?
I did get a slice of the cake, but it wasn't quite big enough.
You can never have too much cake, I suppose. Richard, thank you ever so much for joining us. One of the other things that's been happening today as part of these celebrations as well is they've been handing out here these little packets of wildflower seeds for people to plant. So I'm going to go and sprinkle these in my own garden as another lasting legacy, as if it were needed, of the great Sir David Attenborough.
Oh, Hugh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And you can see more of the celebrations for Sir David's special day online. Just head to the BBC News website or the BBC News app, and you can see more of that special cake on our BBC Leicester Facebook and Instagram pages. We have lots more to come on the programme too. As we heard, Sir David spent his early years in Leicester. He loves Bradgate Park and has said it was a really important part of his childhood growing up. Helen Astle has been back to where it all began.
On the doorstep of the city, yet it feels like a world away, lies Bradgate Park. It was here that Sir David Attenborough developed a love of nature, and it's easy to see why.
We came here as a family up onto those rocks, up onto the tower, paddling in the stream. It was a vision of what the English countryside could be like, which has stayed with me forever, really.
Over the years, times may have changed, but the park has largely stayed the same. For Cara, a ranger here, she was inspired by Sir David.
Just his love for nature, it has no choice but to make everyone else have that spark for the same thing. Like, we come here and we want to care for the same land that he once had a spark for. We consider ourselves as a small park, and then to know that we still hold a part of it in his heart, it's amazing to think that we are like a treasure to him.
Back in 2014, Sir David visited the park to help raise money for the visitor centre.
Bradgate is a very, very important part of my childhood, and I'm sure, therefore, the part of childhood of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who grew up in Leicester. Here it still is, and here it has been for 500 years or more.
It was fantastic. I had lots of highlights at Bradgate. We did lots of special things, including a royal visit. But having Sir David here on two separate occasions was by far the highlight. He's got this genuine, almost childlike enthusiasm for the natural world, and he can communicate it to other people.
Hidden beneath the waves, right beneath my feet, there are creatures beyond our imagination.
I remember meeting Sir David Attenborough during one of his visits to Bradgate Park, and he was asked if he wanted to go to the top of Old John here. Now, as you can see, it's really tall. It wasn't as windy as it is today, but the stairs here are really steep. I remember my cameraman passing me the camera as we came up here. He took the tripod and I was following Sir David. And as we got to the top, Sir David turned around to me and said, "Here, let me help you with the camera." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, no, you're a national treasure. You're a legend. I can't let anything happen to you on my watch." But honestly, what a gentleman. Visitors here are proud of the impact that the park has had on Sir David.
I just think it's really, really incredible that a place like this, Bradgate Park, it's so beautiful, and obviously it's inspired so many of his adventures, and I just think it just makes it all the more special.
I'm ever so proud that he's from Leicester, and I'm very grateful to him for opening up nature to the whole world.
We watch every single one of his programmes. In fact, it's on repeat because my husband has it on all the time.
Back out with the Rangers, and Sir David's impact and influence is never far away.
To think that his feet have been round here and that he was climbing over the rocks that I clambered over as a child is quite big. He started his career out effectively not far from where we're stood now. It is quite amazing, really. He's that voice that's on every documentary. Let's be honest, he's on every documentary that's worth watching. You hear that voice and it's just iconic.
And it's coming up,
He might have travelled the world, highlighting to millions the plight of wildlife and the environment. But it was here, in Bradgate Park, that Sir David Attenborough's love of nature began. Helen Astle, BBC East Midlands Today, Leicestershire.
Amazing. Such a special link to us here in the East Midlands. And it's true that everyone who meets Sir David appreciates it's really quite the honour. Helen sharing her memories there. And this is still up there as my best ever selfie when I was lucky enough to interview Sir David, also at Bradgate Park back in 2016. Such a privilege to meet a man who's won BAFTAs, Emmys, been knighted, of course, by the Queen. He even has a polar research ship named after him. Well, as we've heard, his love of nature started with fossil hunting in the Leicestershire countryside and a close connection with his local museum, which is now inspiring the next generation of explorers. Victoria Hicks reports.
Started looking for fossils when I was a boy, and I've never lost the feeling of excitement and anticipation. How about that? Wow! What a find.
The thrill of fossil hunting has never worn off for Sir David Attenborough. As a child, he was fascinated by Leicestershire's geology, taking fossils he found to Leicester Museum to get them identified.
I tended to go eastwards, towards Tilton, for example. Lovely ammonites, lovely belemnites, rinconellas, all sorts of things. And of course, I wanted to know what they were. And so I brought them here to the museum.
So, children, can anyone tell me who this is?
Me!
You tell me.
Sir David Attenborough.
Following in his footsteps with a visit to Leicester Museum, children from Buswell's Lodge Primary School in Leicester.
David Attenborough travels around the world and he tells us to be careful with plastic. I watched a film of David Attenborough meeting gorillas in Rwanda. When he was a little boy like me, he liked going fossil hunting.
So we're going to look in this box of fossils. So what can we find in here? So here's one. Anybody identify what that is? Renetta, what is it?
Megalodon.
It is a megalodon. What kind of animal is megalodon?
A big shark.
The naturalist has returned to Leicester Museum many times over the years, including in 2011 to open the revamped Dinosaur Gallery and in 2016 to unveil his portrait. Sir David Attenborough has more than 40 species named after him, including a number of fossils. And this is a cast of one of them, the Aurora Lumina Attenboroughi, which was found in Charnwood Forest.
It's a wonderful fossil. It's found in rocks that are 560 million years old. It's the world's earliest predator. And it's just an amazing thing to have a fossil named after you, and it's a wonderful tribute to Sir David Attenborough.
The documentary Attenborough's Journey charts Sir David's return to his childhood roots and his regret he didn't find Leicestershire's most famous fossil.
And this is it. It's called, and is known around the world as Charnia, after the forest in which it was discovered.
At that time, the received wisdom was that the rocks in Charnwood Forest were far too old for fossils like this, so he never went there, and it was only after this was found in the 1950s that I think he realised that had he gone to look for fossils in Charnwood Forest, he might have made this discovery. But he also knew how important these fossils are for our understanding of life on Earth.
Sarah, what's been Sir David's impact on the city and the county here?
He's had an enormous impact on where we live, hasn't he? He grew up here, he spent his childhood in the landscapes, roaming around, looking at wildlife, finding fossils. And it's been brilliant today, hasn't it, to see those kids inspired by the same things as Sir David, and who knows what they're going to go on to do. They've got the same playground to enjoy as he did.
This is the Charnwood Forest in Leicestershire. As a schoolboy, I grew up near here.
That playground and its geology has inspired Sir David Attenborough throughout his career and his life, as his love of the natural world has inspired so many of us. Victoria Hicks, BBC East Midlands Today, Leicester.
Well, stay with us for more on Sir David Attenborough and the weekend weather forecast, but it's time now for the sport with Colin. Back to the birthday celebrations now for Sir David Attenborough. To mark his 100 years, 100 schools in Leicestershire have signed up to the BBC campaign Our Planet, Our Pledge. They've all been holding special events today as children discover the world around them. And we sent our reporter George Torr to see what he could learn.
Gearing up to learn about wildlife and the world around them.
Can you see all the honey and glistening inside? And can you see the bees putting their heads inside each cell?
Do they eat it?
They do eat it.
Children here at Thistley Meadow Primary School in Blaby are buzzing to learn about bees, inspired by the legend that is Sir David Attenborough.
Oh, and if we look, there's the Queen. You see the Queen with the blue dot on?
Schools across the region have been taking part to celebrate Sir David's birthday. But here, in this corner of Leicestershire, this may be the best lesson yet.
How good is this?
It's brilliant. Like, you get to hold like what bees have been doing and see what they've made, like with honey and that. I really like it. It's a really good experience for school to have. It was a little bit scary, but I enjoyed it. I've been putting out my hands so the bees will land on me. And when you're wearing this, it just feels like bees are on your face. I just want to hold back now.
For nearly 70 years, Sir David has brought the wonder of our planet to life, something which has inspired schools like this one to bring the classroom outside. The children love it, and so do the teachers.
I think it's really important for the children, especially in this climate we're in at the moment, is just getting the children out into nature. So we've got the amazing paddock up here with a beehive, and the children go foraging, and at the moment we're making solitary bee houses for the bees, and just a whole ethos of Thistley Meadow is getting the children hands-on learning.
Oh, this one has nectar on it! David Attenborough's turned 100. He wants to help animals not get extinct.
And have you seen any of his documentaries?
Yeah, I watched Blue Planet and Life on Earth.
And what did you think of them?
Really good.
Somebody tells me that you were supposed to be in English today. Is this cooler than English? And if so, why?
How is that even a question? Of course it is.
Well, we've had an unbelievable day here at Thistley Meadows Primary School in Blaby, but there's only one thing left to say.
How is that even a question anyway? Let's take a look at the weather now. Anna, you've been searching for some Sir David Attenborough inspired photos. How did you do?
I did all right, but how is that a question anyway? Sarah? No, I'm joking.
No.
I did think I was looking for something exotic, but we are in the East Midlands, so I got a bumblebee, which after that package fits in quite nicely, and a rather lovely butterfly. So thank you very much, as always, to our weather watchers for bringing and giving us these lovely wildlife photos, as obviously we've had a lot of dry weather recently, so all the wildlife has been out and about, hasn't it? So low pressure sitting up to the north. We do have a cold front that's gradually going to sink its way south very slowly across the weekend. So actually a weekend of two halves. It's going to be feeling warmer on Saturday, but quite a bit cooler by Sunday as we start to take in more of that cold air. So a real change in feel to things over the weekend. A lot of dry weather though, however, out there. Just a chance for a few showers here and there, which looking at the detail now then, shall we? Still a few light showers around as we go through this evening, but predominantly dry. Always clearer skies out towards the east because we've just got this cloud just clinging on to parts of West Derbyshire and up across the north of Nottinghamshire and Derbyshire as well. And that just might have with it a few sharp showers overnight tonight, but I think many of us staying dry. And yet again, after the cold nights we had earlier on in the week, tonight's not looking cold. It is a frost-free night, around 6 degrees Celsius as a minimum temperature. So as we start Saturday then, we do have that cold front sitting to the north of us with quite a bit of cloud with it. bringing with it a few scattered showers. I do think for many of us, though, through the morning and into the afternoon, we will be predominantly dry. The sunshine also breaking through across Leicestershire, parts of Nottinghamshire, but just where that cold front is sitting to the north, that's where we're more likely to see a few sharp showers around, particularly during the afternoon, and I think especially over the Peak District. So just bear that in mind if you're out and about tomorrow. Temperature-wise, though, we're still warm because we're on the southern side of that cold front, so up to 19 degrees Celsius out there on Saturday. But all change as we go into Sunday because that cold front will have eventually pushed away. Quite a bit of cloud around still first thing, but increasingly sunny as we go into the afternoon. But with that colder feel, it's going to be around 13 degrees Celsius on Sunday. But it does look like a dry, settled day. Similar as we go into next week, quite chilly again as we go into Monday. And the temperatures continue to be up and down.
They do a bit, don't they, Anna? Thank you very much for that. Now, there's only one way to end our programme tonight, with that special message recorded by Sir David himself. Here he is, thanking everyone for their birthday messages, along with pictures of some of the youngsters who've dressed up as animals to celebrate his 100th birthday. Enjoy this, have a great weekend, and goodbye from all the team.
I had rather thought that I would celebrate my 100th birthday quietly, but it seems that many of you have had other ideas. I've been completely overwhelmed by birthday greetings, from preschool groups to care home residents and countless individuals and families of all ages. I simply can't reply to each of you all separately, but I would like to thank you all most sincerely for your kind messages